So Harry, let's start with the news. The price of oil has come down quite dramatically since spring. How come?
Well, I think an enormously important factor in that is economic growth, and I think the projections that surround that. So I think that the last few weeks have certainly put some doubts around the robustness of the economy going forward and the growth rates we can see attain. So I think the fragility of what's ahead of us is concerning people and has an immediate impact on projections for energy growth.
So it used to be said that the world economy depended on the price of oil. Now it seems to be the opposite. The price of oil depends on the world economy. Is that fair?
I think there's a significant interaction. And perhaps that interaction over time is relaxed a bit. But certainly when oil prices reach a certain level, of course, there are implications for economic robustness. But at the same time, I think the other way around, as we're recovering from the economic crisis, what we're seeing also is sort of the ability for economies to recover and to deleverage. It has an impact on what prices one can sustain.
A company like Shell, well, there is no company like Shell. Shell has a unique view of demand for energy worldwide. What is that view telling you now about where there's strength and where there's weakness?
Yeah, I think to put it into context, the first thing I would say is that whilst the short term and the near term is very important, that I think in terms of thinking about supply and demand, it is crucial to think about the long term. And of course, I think the significant feature that surrounds our industry is that it's one that has a heartbeat that gets measured in decades rather than years. So when you look out into the longer term, and that would be, I think decades, then you see that between now and 2050, for example, driven by demographic growth and increasing economic wealth, particularly in developing nations, particularly in Asia, but also in Africa, that there will be demand growth for the coming decades. And that demand growth will be significant and perhaps unprecedented. So despite the turbulence we're seeing in the near term and the significant volatility surrounding that, we firmly believe that over the coming decades that demand for energy will continue to grow quite significantly. If you then put that together with the supply picture, where of course it's increasingly difficult to see us unlock significant resources, you'll see a tension that we have seen in the recent years continue in the coming decades.